Nakatises Marelli.
If it wasn't for the last two decisions that took place yesterday at UFC 322, that might have been one of the most exciting, one of the most greatest cards that we have seen all year, my people, all right? First off, the amount of fights that were going down at UFC 322 and the fans, the amount of fights that were happening. Fight. Here we go. Oh, Dillion Dani getting jumped by the whole Khabib's team. You had other dudes in the stands causing fights. It seemed like the electricity in the stadium was ridiculous.
Sit your ass down, dude. Shut the fuck up. Sit down. Come on, man. You're ruining the fight. Oh, shit. Oh, damn.
Dillion Dani got jumped by a bunch of dudes. John Pork, Chonko, okay? He wants to be called Chonko now. Was in there throwing blows at Dillion Dani. Somebody hits Dillion Dani behind the head. Boom! Drops him on the floor, my people. They had to escort him out. And because of all that, Dana White has came out and said Dillion Dani will never fight inside or not fight. He never fought. Will never even step inside of an arena for a UFC event ever again in his life, my people. Dana White is pissed, all right? What an amazing performance from a couple fighters that we seen last night. Bo Nickel, okay, came in here and started off the 4 knockout run into UFC 322 with a head kick KO against Rodolfo Vieira. What did we say? What did we say? That the wrestling was going to cancel each other out. This was going to be a striking battle, and I wouldn't be surprised if Bo Nickel KOs this man. And that's exactly what happened, bro. Bo Nickel coming back, bouncing back, and in my opinion, it was a fantastic way to bounce back. He looked good. His striking looked absolutely fantastic. Now, he wasn't shooting any takedowns, but that's what you do against a guy like Rodolfo Vieira. He took him down a couple times when he wanted to, picked him up, slam him on the floor. Absolutely great performance from Bo Nickel. Now, the question is, what is next for him in the middleweight division? Is it Sirskayev? Because, in my opinion, Sirskayev, who was the second fight on the UFC 222, right after Matthias Camilo and Borishev. By the way, Borishev, in my opinion, probably going to be released by the UFC. I think he's 1-4-1 in his last 6 fights. 1 win, 4 losses, and 1 draw. As much as I love Slava Claus, and it's sad to see him with his Santa Claus hat inside the ring waiting to be announced, it's actually a sad thing. I really don't see a place in the UFC for this man anymore. I understand why the UFC keeps him, because he's a stand-up, great fighter, exciting to see. But man, is he just getting taken down every single fight, and it's not working out for him. Sirskayev went in there against Eric Monaco, and in my opinion, Eric Monaco displayed 2 rounds of grit, of heart, and was coming at Sirskayev, hitting him with combos, hitting him cleanly with punches, flush, flush, flush. And as a minus 1,200, which was Sirskayev, I said to myself, I am never putting money on this guy again because of his horrible defense. But right after the fight, at the media interviews, Sirskayev did come out and say that he went into that fight with an ankle injury. Yes, an ankle injury, all right? Not to, say any excuses for his fight, but at the end of the day, he says he went in there in an injury. Let's see what actually happened. I thought Eric Monaco did actually good, and this is the second time that this has happened. In the first fight that Sirskayev came out, which was against a guy who actually came up a weight class, who's never fought in that weight class, Eric Nolan, was also putting on a great fight against Sirskayev. Now, at the end of the day, Sirskayev is finishing these dudes in the last rounds. If that's what it takes for him to get it done, that's what type of fighter he is, that's what's going to happen. But in my opinion, not the best performance from Sirskayev. Now, you had Chepa Mariscal get absolutely dominated by Passivatina. Fatima Klein went in there and absolutely dominated your homegirl, Angela Hill, who's, 40 years old already, all right? Not the most exciting wins there, but then we go to Malcolm Wellmaker. Oh, yeah, Kyle Dawkins also submitted Gerald Meerschaert in 50 seconds. Dude, the comeback that Kyle Dawkins has been experiencing, in my opinion, is ridiculous, bro. Having left the UFC, came back, and now is on a win streak like this. Absolutely impressive. Now, Malcolm Wellmaker got absolutely exposed against Ethan Ewing. I understand it's a short notice fight. You never know what's going to happen. But as somebody who's grew up boxing, I see Malcolm Wellmaker and I see some of the fundamentals that he's doing in his boxing game, and it's horrible. It's horrible. They need to get a new boxing trainer on his side. This kid needs to progress with a jab. Where was the jabs at? I sat there and watched that whole fight and said, dude, I have never seen a more horrible UFC fighter with a more horrible jab than Malcolm Wellmaker. He does not know how to use it. He's a counterpuncher who's waiting to just throw hooks, left hooks and right hooks. He thinks he's a one knockout pony because of what's been going down in his UFC career. But Ethan Ewing, 7 days ago, he just became the A1 Combat Champion. And now, 7 days later, hopped into the ring with a prospect, a blue chip prospect like Malcolm Wellmaker, and for him to completely destroy Malcolm Wellmaker. I'm talking about destroy. He beat the crap out of him, was boxing his head off. Great combo, step into the side. Malcolm Wellmaker was using the Philly shell, and in my opinion, that Philly shell was absolutely horrible. It is, man. Malcolm Wellmaker blew it for a lot of people when it came to parlays, all right? But the card was still absolutely exciting, man. Like I said, you had Bo Nickel, who got a knockout against Rodolfo Rara. Then to start the main card, BSD knocks out Beneil Dariush in the first round. Literally in what, 16 seconds? I mean, dude, Beneil Dariush looked like an old man today. And at the end of the day, man, I just don't think Beneil Dariush is there no more. I think his chin is shot. I think he's been knocked out in 3 of his last 4 fights. It's just not the same Beneil Dariush. But a fantastic win from BSD to jump the rankings like that and beat somebody who was higher than you in the rankings, all right? The sky's the limit for BSD, my friends. Absolutely exciting. Says he wants to chase the BMF title. Says he wants to chase the title. Now, right after that knockout, you had 2 knockouts in a row. In comes a fight that everybody was waiting, just to wait to see what was gonna happen. All right, you had Leon Edwards step into the ring with Carlos Prates, and my goodness, bro, my goodness, Carlos Prates puts Leon Edwards to sleep, and Leon didn't know where he was at. He was like, what? You guys, we picked Beneil Dariush, he lost, but since then we had picked Carlos Prates, we picked Michael Morales to win, we picked Valentina Shevchenko to absolutely dominate, and we picked Islam Makhachev. We got our picks correct, my friend. To see Carlos Prates do that to Leon Edwards, a guy who has never been knocked out in his career. And think about this, didn't he just knock out Geoff Neal before that? That's 2 guys in a row that have never ever been knocked out in their careers, and he just finished it, my friends. Which, in my opinion, set up an absolutely fantastic all-Latino fight with Michael Morales, because Michael Morales exposed Sean Brady, went in there and boxed the head off of him. Sean Brady had 0 chance. I'm telling you guys right now, 0 chance. Did not take down Michael Morales at all. Michael had the distance. He had the height. What a goddamn monster. A monster. Okay? In the welterweight division. This dude could be fighting in the middleweight division hands down, bro. No doubt, all right? What a fantastic win for Michael Morales to stay undefeated and now set up a fight, in my opinion. If Ian Gary versus Belal the Dream Muhammad taking place next weekend on the Arman Tsarukyan versus Dan Hooker fight isn't the #1 contender fight, then I say you got to make it Michael Morales versus Carlos Prates, all right? Sean Brady was ranked #2 in the welterweight division, and your boy, Michael Morales, just did him like that, all right? Last but not least, Valentina Shevchenko absolutely dominated Wally Zay, my people, and we called it, dude. The size difference, what was, in my opinion, the weight difference, the wrestling difference, was what, in my opinion, separated Valentina to Zhang Wang, all right? Wally Zhang had absolutely no chance at all, grappling with a woman like Valentina Shevchenko, all right? Valentina went in there with the Terminator glasses, got it done exactly how he said. And in my opinion, it might have slowed down the hype of how exciting the UFC 322 card was, especially Islam Makhachev did the same exact thing that Valentina did. Completely dominated JDM. JDM had no chance at all. I'm saying no chance. This was worse. This was one of the worst beatings that I have seen been displayed in a championship fight between fighters. I thought Khamzat Chimaev and DDP was bad, right? DDP couldn't get up at all. The same thing with this fight. It looked like JDM had no wrestling experience at all. Didn't know what to do when he got taken down. And in my opinion, it was a horrible performance, man. JDM really needs to start working on his wrestling, dude. You had Ilia Topuria coming out and tweeting and talking crap on your wrestling, all right? Ilia Topuria wants this fight with Islam Makhachev. I know it. He's out here tweeting. He's getting excited, my friends. What a night that we had at UFC 322, all right? From the fights to Dillion Dani to just all the fights in the stands. I am never going to forget this card. Dana White came out and said Dillion Dani will never fight or be at a UFC event ever again. He's never fought in the UFC. He'll never be at an event again. We'll see if that stays true. John Pork was getting down. Chunko, in my opinion, this has just leveled him up even more, my friends. What an exciting card we had last night at UFC 322, my friends. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'm out.